Yeah, I mean, it was a really difficult match, but I've played her a couple times this year, so I just tried to.
Naomi Osaka just did something at Wimbledon she had never managed to do in her entire career. And the man who helped get her there used to work for her biggest rival. For years, Wimbledon was the one Grand Slam that simply refused to cooperate with Naomi Osaka. For major titles to her name, a resume most players would kill for, and yet grass never seemed to like her back. Third round was her ceiling, every single time, until this year. On Sunday, Osaka walked onto the court against Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one on grass, the surface everyone assumed was her weakness, and she didn't just compete. She dominated. 6-2, 7-6, and a tie-break win to close out. It marked the first time in her career she had beaten a top 10 player on a surface other than hard courts. Not clay, not grass, ever until now, and it sent her into the Wimbledon quarterfinals for the very first time. So naturally, reporters wanted to know the obvious question. What changed? What flipped the switch after years of early exits on this exact court? Osaka didn't hesitate. She pointed straight at one man on her team, and she didn't hold back the praise. She jokingly called him her big Polish coach, then thanked her whole team for how much fun she's having and how much she's learning from him on this journey. That coach is Tomasz Wiktorowski, and here's where the story gets genuinely wild if you follow tennis at all. Wiktorowski isn't just some new, hire nobody's heard of. From 2021 to 2024, he was the architect behind Iga Świątek's rise to the top of women's tennis. Under his guidance, Świątek captured 19 titles. 4 of her 6 Grand Slam championships came while he was in her corner. He is, by almost any measure, one of the most successful coaches in the modern women's game. Then, in 2024, Świątek parted ways with him. She brought in Wim Fissette instead, and yes, they did win Wimbledon together last year. But that pairing didn't last. It quietly ended, and Świątek moved on again, this time to Francisco Roig. That partnership hasn't produced the results anyone expected either. Meanwhile, Wiktorowski didn't sit idle for long. In July 2025, he joined Naomi Osaka's team. And what's happened since then is honestly one of the more fascinating turnaround stories in recent tennis memory. Just days before her win over Sabalenka, Osaka opened up in a press conference about what Wiktorowski has actually been doing with her in training. She explained that he had her running a lot of unconventional drills, ones that forced her to move forward and close in on the ball, something she admitted she was never naturally comfortable doing. She said it trained her eyes to read the pace of incoming shots differently and sharpened her sense of depth and timing in a way her previous training never had. In short, he rebuilt how she reads the game itself, not just how she hits the ball. And the results speak for themselves. Since teaming up with Wiktorowski, Osaka reached the final of the Canadian Open, a WTA 1000 event. She made the semi-finals of the US Open. She got to the third round of the Australian Open and the fourth round of the French Open. Now she's added a Wimbledon quarterfinal to that list, along with a runner-up finish at the Bad Homburg Open just before the tournament started, a result that hinted this grass court breakthrough was coming. Let's put her current form into real perspective. In 2026 alone, Osaka has played 27 matches and lost only 7 of them. 7 losses all year. And here's the detail that makes this story even more interesting. 4 of those 7 losses came against just 2 players, Aryna Sabalenka and Iga Świątek. Meaning outside of the 2 best players in the world, Osaka has barely lost at all this season. Now flip that around and look at what's happening on the other side of the story. While Osaka has been climbing, Świątek has been sliding. She was knocked out in the third round of this very Wimbledon tournament, a shockingly early exit for someone who has spent years near the top of the sport. The coach she let go is now helping fuel one of her rival's best stretches of tennis in years, while her own new partnerships haven't clicked the same way. There's something almost poetic about it. The same voice, the same training philosophy, the same eye for detail that built Świątek into a 4-time slam champion is now being poured into Naomi Osaka, and it's working. Osaka isn't just winning matches, she's winning them in ways she never had before, on the surface that used to be her biggest question mark. So, what happens next? Osaka's quarterfinal opponent is Karolína Muchová, another dangerous, versatile player who has given top names trouble before. It won't be easy, but given everything we've just seen, given the growth, the confidence, the tactical shift Wiktorowski has clearly installed in her game, it's hard to bet against her right now. Naomi Osaka came into this Wimbledon with a 28-year-old body for Grand Slam trophies already on her shelf, and a surface that had never once rewarded her. She's leaving the second week with a shot at a fifth major title, a complete reinvention of her game, and full credit going to the big Polish man in her corner, the very coach her rival walked away from. Sometimes in sports, the most important move isn't the one you make yourself, it's the one your opponent decides to give up.